What up, everybody? This is Dregs One. Welcome to a very special episode of the History of the Bay podcast, recorded here in San Francisco at Empire Studios. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Trevor Potter behind the lens, getting us right. Shout out to the folks, Shimo Media, in the building. And today, we got a special guest. You know, we represent all of Northern California on this platform, not just Northern California, all of hip-hop. It all connects to the Bay Area. It all connects to the West Coast. And this person that we got on right here is a dope artist that's been blazing his own trail, his own lane the past few years with his own brand of music, style, speaking on important issues, speaking on his life story, and really putting on for his section and beyond. I'm talking with the one and only Rico 2 Smoove.
What's up with it, y'all, man? Hey, first and foremost, I just want to say I appreciate it, my boy. You know, it's been a long time coming. We've been talking to each other and been kept in contact for a minute. So I feel like, you know, it was probably just all in timing. We right here now, and we going to get down to business, my boy.
Absolutely. It's a real recognized real type of situation because, I've been peeping what you've been doing even before we met recently. And, I appreciate the authenticity and the realness and the way you conduct yourself, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I was talking to you earlier, like, I want to find a way for this episode for people who don't know you to get familiar with you, but people who maybe are familiar or seen some of your other interviews or other content to get like a different perspective on you.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know, I think one thing, though, that does interest me is, you being biracial. I'm biracial myself. For those fucking wondering all the time, leaving comments, what is this dude? I'm black and white, you know what I mean?
There you go. Let them know, man. You mix, my boy.
Come on, bro. But definitely identify as a black man. And you yourself, black and Mexican. You've talked before about the differences or the kind of the parallels of being in between. And you said something really interesting that you find that there's discrimination on both sides.
Right, correct.
You find that there's also acceptance on both sides as well?
Yeah. It depends, like, you know, the demographics, like where you grew up in, you know, your jurisdiction, your surroundings. You know, you're only going to adapt to where you come from. So at the end of the day, like, my whole point of saying that was to basically let the rest of the world know that, you know, I experienced racism from many different races, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's just like a natural human thing, and it starts from, you know, where we come from, or this certain stigma that certain people have. If you're too light skinned, or you're a mulatto, you're you know what I'm saying, what they call it, high yellow, you feel me? You're a high yellow
I
boy.
definitely heard that
Exactly,
before.
I know you heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Me, you know what I'm saying, light skinned nigga, you feel me, mixed breed, you know. It's just, it's the regular, still stereotypical shit that they be saying. But I was saying that to let people know, because, you know, a lot of people, white people are the only ones racist, or there's certain races, the only ones that's racist. Well, I'm letting you know right now, I done grew up in the struggle. I done been in different environments where, you know, it might be classy over here, and I seen the racism there. I've been in the hood where it might be an old Mexican lady, someone's grandma or something, and as a kid, you know, I'm little nappy-headed boy, and they might say, like, what is that little mayate doing, you know what I'm saying, like the N-word, you feel me? And I didn't know Spanish like that, but I knew that word, and I knew that was talking about me, you feel me? Mind you, I'm playing with, like, you know, their little grandkids or whatever. So I felt that type of shit where I was like, damn, like, am I Mexican or not? My mom, I go back to my mom, am I really Mexican? My mom's like, shit, you see me, I'm really Mexican. But the thing is, my mom, you know, was the Mexican that grew up in a black environment, you know what I'm saying? And then also grew up in a Mexican environment just like me. So she has the best of both worlds as far as the swag and the style and character goes. But growing up seeing that, my boy, like, that was my whole thing, is saying that, you know, black, Mexican, white, Asian, I seen racism in all shapes and forms, you feel me? And
Right.
it comes from a deeply rooted spot.
Yeah, let's touch on that a little bit too. I mean, this is also like similar to my experience as well. You know, you grow up in the hood, you gotta have thick skin. But this is what I realized is that people will get on you for anything. You could be too handsome and people will call you pretty boy.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be
I know
ugly.
exactly
You
what
an
you're
ugly
talking about.
motherfucker. You could be too dark. You could be too light.
Yeah.
You could be too tall. You could be too short. You could be too fat. You could be too skinny. It's people just get on what they see, and the first thing they see is your physical appearance. Sometimes the first thing they notice is the color of your skin.
Facts.
So they're going to use if you got long hair, they're going to make fun of your long hair. If you got no hair, it really doesn't matter. So, for me, I learned, when people would get on me about being mixed or whatever, eventually I had to learn that, like, nobody can define how I see myself. I have to define who I am. And I'm in touch with my mom's side of the family and my dad's side of the family. So I feel like from what I've observed, it's like a similar journey for you.
Yeah, nah, exactly. You done been through it. That's why, it was good to bring that topic up because a lot of like people that done interview me, they didn't really like dig deeper into the meaning of what I was saying, And that's what I was saying all along is that, it doesn't matter what race you are. Like I done seen racism. It comes from some type of deep stigma that they done had from generations of their culture or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I only know that because, seeing it firsthand and then, educating myself through books and, reading on topics like that. So, yeah, man, we know what it is, man. It's rough either way,
Well, people are people. So some people have prejudice, some people don't. It's really that simple.
It's really that simple. Yeah, you're right.
But I think what you're talking about too, and this is a word I'm gonna use a lot during this episode. The systemic issues of divisiveness between Black and brown communities. That's something I want to touch on. That's something I like to use this platform. I don't know if people have been peeping that. That often when I have Latin guests on here, I use the opportunity to encourage unity between black folks and brown folks because I don't think people understand how similar the struggles are. And I don't know if you agree with this or maybe you see something different, but I feel like growing up, the Black and brown communities where I was exposed to were much more united. And now I don't know if it's the political climate or what, or the internet, social media, but there seems to be a lot more divisiveness between the two communities right now.
I would say, you know what I'm saying, my response to that, honestly, is like, we could go way back, Black Panther Party days, Brown Berets.
Come on.
Back then, a lot of the gangs that we call today or that's been here for generations established themselves on protecting their communities, promoting unity, promoting...
So do me a favor, bro. The mic gotta be right in front of your mouth. Low key. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah, so like I was saying, my boy, is if we want to go talk about these so-called gangs nowadays that's been here for generations, we got to think about the Black Panther Party and also speak into existence about the Brown Berets. I say that because I know how they were formed and why they were formed. It was to protect the community, to uplift each other, and to also, provide jobs, housing, food, you know what I'm saying, all that. It was basically self-governed within the community. And the Black and Browns back then, and not just Black and Browns, just any indigenous person, period, that came from overseas, might be from the Philippines, might be from Fiji, Tonga, no matter where you're from.
Indigenous Native American.
They come right here, boom, settle. We all had the same things, but we know that the similarities was our skin tone, where we come from, and us being mainly indigenous or different looking than everybody else. So it's just, man, I don't know. I done did so much information seeking, and I'm just trying to find answers about the music and everything. And like I even seen like divisiveness when gangster rap first started, you know what I'm saying? And they try to say it's a conspiracy theory, you know, about there was a group of people met in the back, you know what I'm saying, and had the structure about prison and funding prison, and to keep the funding going, they have to promote this type of music to keep the communities at war with each other, to keep the prison cycle going, and to keep this cycle going so that they could make money. So I felt like it started from way back then. It was already a seed planted. And as we could see now, fast forward to this generation, like we're talking about, you're like, I don't know if it's social media, is it this? I feel that it's all those things that you mentioned, bro, because, you know, I see it from a bird's eye view. I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you know, that's why I've been trying to set myself apart from a lot of things, because I see that, and I don't want to be an image that's self-destructive and promoting that warfare amongst my people like that. I know I have my own oppositions and I come where I come from, but it's like that's something I can't really change, but I can change how I think, the way I act, and what I'm promoting right now. So I say that, bro, to say, like how you said, yeah, I think that's what it is. You feel me? The divisiveness already been there from the gate. It was a seed. They planted it, and over the years, they've been finding different strategies to keep that. Now we have the social media as present as ever. They always show some type of racist something, whether it be Mexican on black or black on Mexicans, or you already see it. Blacks in LA, it'll say on their title, Robin Cornman.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Like,
sorry, got this. Maybe scoot back from the table just a little
yeah,
bit.
right here.
Yeah.
Right here too.
Yeah.
Like, they know what they doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Putting these blatantly titles on social media. They just have different strategies to, you know, divide us up. So, you know what I'm saying? I know I talk a lot, my boy.
No, this is the place to do it.
Yeah.
Man.
So,
you know
feel
I mean?
me? I you know, I don't really have too much conversations like that, only with a few people. So, like, yeah, that's my answer to that, yeah.
The key word is divide and conquer, right? Because what you're saying is profit, right? It's profit-based.
Yeah, it's profitable.
It's profitable to keep people who are actually more similar than they might realize, at least in how they're being treated, right? I mean, if you look in the prison population, mostly black and brown, if you look at who is, underperforming in schools, it's usually black and brown, right? That doesn't mean that black and brown people have something wrong with them. It's obviously there's something that's being put against them.
Exactly.
So if you keep those people who are in similar situations fighting with each other, instead of coming together, like you said, the Brown Berets and the Black Panthers did, or I don't know if you ever heard of Fred Hampton and the Rainbow Coalition in Chicago, which was the Black Panthers, the Puerto Rican Young Lords, and even some white boys. Forgive me, I can't remember their name, but their gang. It was a gang that turned into a political group that was black, that had black, Latino, and white. So we don't have that example right now. And like you said, we're all kind of triggered and, feeling these sensational videos and headlines coming out. And now people are at each other's throats. And, there's only one group that profits from that. It's the people at the top.
That should sound like something from a movie, huh?
This is Kamel Jacob Bell, co-founder of SF Hip Hop. SF Hip Hop is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the preservation and elevation of hip hop culture here in San Francisco and all over the world. My background, I was co-founder of Ankh Marketing for 20 plus years actually now, which we've been doing everything from Rock the Bells to Black Star and Mohsen Kweli to Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill and the Fugees and Dave Chappelle shows, all these different things in San Francisco over the past 2 decades. We really wanted to see our culture thrive, with the gentrification and all the challenges we face as a community. We want to make sure our culture stays here. Born and raised in San Francisco, SF Hip Hop is also black and brown led and owned. We're trying to put on world-class experiences of hip hop culture here in the city, starting with this SF Hip Hip Hop Festival. July 19th at the Midway. One of my favorite things that we're doing is pulling SF United set, which is legends of hip hop culture in San Francisco, coming together on one stage, which is hosted by the brother Dregs One. You can get tickets at sfhiphop.org. SF Hip Hop Festival. Check us out.
But hey, nah, real shit though. Like, that's deep, man. I'll be lit, cause that's all I be doing, bro. Really, I just be trying to educate, even myself to this day. I learned most of the shit in CYA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just reading hella books, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to learn more about like the real history and my culture, and you know, that type of stuff, like it was exciting to me, like just hearing about it, cause I'm like,
me
damn,
too.
all these years, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And always being fed the stuff we're being taught in the U.S. public systems is like, wait, what the hell? They didn't teach us this. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's also why, you know, to bring it full circle, I think you're in like a unique position as an artist, because you're able to appeal to different groups and build a diverse fan base.
Yeah.
Instead of just, you know, I talked to some Latin artists on this podcast I feel have been pigeonholed. It's harder to cross over to get a more diverse audience, but at a certain point you need to. Because you can't, I mean, for anybody, right? You can't just have only black people listen to you. You can't have only Latin people listen to you. You have to cross over at some point.
Yeah, at some point for sure. And, you know, it took a while for me to get that through my head too. You know, I was intent with only feeding my fans, my core fans, the ones that I built up from the gate, you know what I'm saying? And then along the way, I forgot, like, even then when I first started off, I broke out of that little shell so I could get more fans. And, you know, I feel like people break out of certain barriers and then just, like, stop.
Right.
And they don't keep thinking bigger and outside the box, you know what I'm saying? And I barely just came to that realization. 2025.
Wow.
I've been doing it for about, I want to say consecutively for like 6 years, you know what I'm saying? But like 5, like actually, you know, trying to take it serious.
Right.
But this year is like the most serious I've ever been, focused, everything.
Yeah, I can tell. We'll get a little deeper into that. But like I said, I want to continue on the timeline to some people who might not be as familiar with your background, and I'll summarize it so you don't have to say the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, appreciate that.
From what I was researching, basically your father that's your black side of the family.
Yes, sir.
Which you didn't really have much contact with.
Yeah, not even on the family side either.
Not even his relatives.
Nah.
Mm-hmm. So you don't have any half brothers or siblings on that side?
I do.
But not in touch with them.
Yeah, not really.
And he was incarcerated during your mom's pregnancy.
Yeah. So
pretty much out of your life. But your mom is the Mexican side, and were you close with her relatives too?
She didn't have relatives herself. Her mom died when she was little. I think she told me she was about 9 or something. Her mom died overdose, and then her grandma took her in, and her grandma raised her all the way up until like her teens, and then she passed away. So then my mom was just thugging. She had a half brother, half Mexican, half white. And that was the closest thing she really had to her, and she still is just still them till this day, really.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So the reason I asked is to like touch on like again being black and brown. You're not, and then when you talk about being excited to learn about your culture, I'm getting the sense that you're not learning this from your family. You're learning this from basically your neighborhood, your community,
exactly. My neighborhood, the street. First, it was the neighborhoods, street culture, and everything. And then once I started going to juvenile hall and being locked up for longest periods of time, I started like educating myself on books. So it was certain books that I read before, you know, that was educating me on my culture and, you know, where we really come from.
You know, and to go, now that we're talking about it, to go back to what we were just saying, it's like the other thing about the discrimination and the divisiveness is sometimes it gets passed down. You learn these behaviors from your parents or from your uncles or from your older relatives. But you're coming up in an environment basically where pretty much everybody's that who you step outside, who you see when you step outside, that's who you coming up
Yeah,
around.
exactly.
So it's not really like, it's not like this like discrimination stuff is being like ingrained in you.
Yeah. This ain't coming from like family roots or something like
Right.
that. This is something that I'm experiencing, you know, myself as a kid, and trying to put a sense to everything, you know, trying to make it make sense.
Right. Well, and then as you said too, like you're also having to discover like what your culture actually is. You gotta. That's a self-discovery.
Yeah, that's a self-discovery. Yeah, exactly. You know, I had to ask my mom a lot of questions. I wanted to be serious about it, so, you know, I asked her a lot why she never taught me Spanish, and you know, her honest answer was, we're indigenous. Like, our blood, we really have indigenous blood. So if you want to be technical, Spanish is not even our language.
What did that mean to you when she said that to you?
I was like, what? I was like, Ma, what are you talking about? Mexicans speak Spanish. You know, I'm a kid at the time. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, that's not our first language. That's not Mexican's first language. And she's like, well, a lot of it's not really Mexican. And I was like, what are we? She's like, what I said, indigenous. You know what I'm saying? We come from indigenous people, natives, Nahua, Apache, all different native tribes. She told me the Aztec, Mayan, I was like, she started breaking it down, but at the time I wasn't even nowhere on that hype to even understand. I didn't know nothing about it. But like I said, later on down the road, self-educating myself, I'm like, damn, she was kicking some game. She wasn't lying. She was for real.
Right.
Spanish isn't the language. And it's a trip that went to schools and, you know, experienced that racism. You don't speak Spanish, you're not Mexican. Or you're not from Mexico, you're not, you know what I'm saying? All these different little things I was hearing. And I'm like, well, I gotta have it in my blood. Like, something ain't adding up. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm older and I educated about it. I'm like, man, she wasn't lying. She was for real.
Wow. Yeah, I think. All right, let's get deep. We're about to go over a lot of people's heads. But you know, that's what they call colonization, ladies and gentlemen. So, the Mexican identity, it does stem from the Spanish identity, right? But the Spanish identity is not indigenous to this continent.
Facts.
It's an identity that was forced upon the native people that were here.
Yep, from Spain.
And to tie it back again to black and brown and the similarities and the unity that we have, that is similar experience for people of African descent who are stripped of their culture and forced into a European culture. So that self-discovery that we're talking about, that's something that is important. To really go and trace your true roots, not necessarily what you're being told your roots are, but where your bloodline really comes from.
Exactly. Yeah, and kind of just opened my eyes in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I watch movies, you know, documentaries from history teachers, you know, being in juvenile hall or CYA. The rest of the kids, you know, sitting there, this is boring, and I don't know, something about history, you know, I was always interested, like, and I was always curious about, like, I have more, questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I watch a movie or read a book or something, I was always still, like, wondering, like, but, like, what happened? Like, what was the root cause? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I've always been like that. And, you know, by being like that, this shit really opened my eyes and made me look at the world and, you know, in a different lens for sure.
Yeah, it's important to really ask questions so you can understand yourself, man. As a man, that's just like, you know, otherwise, if you don't have that information, you're just moving through life.
Yes, exactly.
Without direction.
Yeah, and I learned that too from like a couple OGs, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows like the little phrase, closed mouth don't get fed.
Yep.
And it's about the same thing, OG, like, man, some people stay quiet because they feel like, you know, making questions make it feel like they're dumb or something.
Yeah.
But he was telling me, like, really the intellectual one is the one that's always trying to seek knowledge and always asking questions.
That's right.
So he was like, don't ever be afraid to voice your opinion or to ask questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, because I'll give you the answer. Straight lace, no chase. And whether it's good, bad, ugly, I'm going to give it to you straight up. And you perceive it and you take it how you want to. But I took that in stride. I'm like, man, that's right. And ever since, you know, if there's OGs, I could be crackheads or, you know what I'm saying, an OG from the store. I done learned a lot from just random motherfuckers that I overlook just by perception, thinking, oh, he's just a bum, talking to himself.
Me too, bro. Yeah.
I stop by and I'll say a few words. What's up with OG? I'll switch my momentum. And then, I can't call it player. And then he'll go on and spit some game.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, nigga, what the fuck? Because it'll be something that he'll say that obtained to my life right at the time or something. And I'm like, man, you damn right. I'm like, shit, like, this nigga just spoke to me. You feel me?
Right.
And, you know, that just goes to show, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to seek that knowledge, always be acceptance of it, too, because it's a lot of it out there, a lot of game, a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, just because someone's down bad don't mean they got game. I mean, that's the game you can learn how not to be in the position
exactly.
that they're in. Yeah.
And to let you know, too.
Yep. Another thing that's interesting about your background is you represent Sacramento, which, as I said many times, you can't talk about the Bay without talking about Sac and vice versa. But your neighborhood is in West Sacramento.
Yeah, where I grew up in.
Different city.
Yes, sir. No, it's basically its own city.
Yeah.
And back
that's
then,
Yolo County.
Yolo County, yeah.
So it's not Sacramento County, it's Yolo County.
It's West Sacramento, the city, so it is the west side of Sacramento.
Right.
But it's Yolo County.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And then we not 530, we still 916.
Right. Okay.
It's a
yeah, it's
and literally look, Sac County.
Yeah. No, I know because I lived in Sac for a hot one.
Yeah.
And I think I was going to that bowling alley out there, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right there on West Cap, right when you cross the bridge.
Yeah. And I crossed over and I'm like, oh, okay, this just got totally different.
Yeah, facts.
Actually, I think I was looking for an apartment out there too. So I got to like kind of mess around, see what West Sac talking about. Different environment for sure.
Facts.
One thing that's interesting about Sacramento being like the state capital, it's a lot of homelessness up there, a lot of drugs, and that's basically, I saw that in when I drove through West Sac a few times. It's like, just, you know, not just mean this in a degenerative way, but like Skid Row type shit.
Yeah, facts.
Hotels and
right there all on West Cap.
Yeah.
And it used to be a lot worse, like back in the day before my time, generations back then. It used to be like a little mini hostro, all types of shit. Like now, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of shit. I don't know when were you out there last?
The last time I've been out there must have been 2018 or so, 2017.
Yeah, it was still going. It was still going around that time. As of now, man, the whole thing. I don't know if you know or not. We got the A's now over there, ready field.
Yep.
So since they
River Cats.
Since they done did that, they gentrified the whole Wooty Wop.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, I done seen the flip. Like, it made me sad because, you know, my like CERN memorable shit and old looking shit, like everything brand new, condos up. So like it's like a good and a bad thing, you know.
Right.
Good for the next generation.
Right.
Because I see that, you know, that even lowers the crime rate, but it's also like kicking our people out because the ones that's been living there for years, now the rent's going up all everywhere. So it's like either motherfuckers gotta move somewhere else or go further away from where the condos and everything is at. You know how that go down, but
yes, I do. Yeah, San Francisco problems.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Interesting, bro. So we got like South San Francisco, right? That's a separate city, but it's not like West Sac and Sacramento where you cross the street and you go from one city to another. I guess a close comparison would be like Daly City You could be on Mission Street and just cross the street and then boom, you're in Daly City.
Daly City, man, Fogtown.
Yeah, shout out to all my folks in Daly City and South San Francisco.
Yeah.
But as far as like Sacramento, like how does your neighborhood in West Sac, like, is there any differences between the rest of the city in terms of
Yeah, for sure, because we're one of the oldest neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, if you do the research on everything. But we always been a close-knitted, strong neighborhood, really, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of the people there were originals, you know. Their moms and grandmas been there for years, you know what I'm saying? And the generations have been mostly, like, family involved. Like, they get, you know what I'm saying, get married with this. Now, you know what I'm saying, it's one big-ass neighborhood with family and loved ones, you know what I'm saying? We kept our shit so close-knitted that we didn't really fuck with nobody like that. And this is, I'm talking about, you know, the generations before me.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I know, there was a lot more, you know, outside, obviously. Everybody was outside, you know what I'm saying, back in the days on the boulevard and whatnot. But, yeah, the difference would probably be that close-knit. We really didn't fuck with nobody. And we didn't really go outside our jurisdiction like that. We stayed right there in the hood, and if anybody really came over to our shit, you know, we tripping, you feel me? That's what it was, you know what I'm saying, back then, you know what I'm saying? But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just curious how that breaks down, because I mean, you know, like I've been saying, I'm from San Francisco. Obviously, I know how we function out here. I lived in Sac a little bit. I kind of have some sense, but in terms of the real culture and the real history, that's what I'm real curious about.
Don't get it twisted, like, you know what I'm saying, we was close-knitted within our neighborhood and jurisdiction, but we still had family members from different hoods and different areas of Sac, you feel me, whether it be in South Sac. So, you know, when it came to cruises and all that shit, you know what I'm saying, we up there, they up there. It's a whole big junction of people from different areas. But we for surely definitely was one of them ones, though.
Okay, and you moved around a lot before you settled down there, but once you got there, that's kind of just what you fell into.
Yeah, because it was already at the time when I'm like 10 years old. So from 10 going all the way into my teens, this is my teen era. This is where
where you grew up. Basically.
Yeah, I'm actually growing up, man. And that's the thing, like a lot of people don't know, like, well, I say it all the time, but people still get confused. My mom was a Rolling Stone. Mm-hmm. So you know that song, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Yeah, same shit. My mama was a Rolling Stone. Wherever she laid her hat was her home. Right. And she was just wiggling. So if she got kicked out right here, she was on her way just wherever the wind blew, trying to provide for me and her and doing the best she can. So I lived in many different neighborhoods with different races. I've been in hella different schools. So it's like, this is what shaped Rico, you know what I'm saying, to this day. Yeah. This is what shaped me. You know, being in different environments and soaking up game here, soaking up game here, soaking up game here, getting all these vibes and energies and see these different characteristics, you know what I'm saying? This is what made me today, you know what I'm saying? So before I landed over there, Rolling Stone, you know what I'm saying? So I was different even in my hood, you know what I'm saying, compared to a lot of people. Yeah, I bet. Because I didn't have family that were stationed there. Yeah. And have grandmas and woo-woo-woo. No, it was me and mom. And I was just a badass little kid, so, you know, growing up, here I am again, another neighborhood. Is mama gonna be a Rolling Stone again, or is this home? And it was, you know what I'm saying? She was finally stable for all them years that we was on the go, here, there, up, down, all around. She finally found a spot, the transitional homes over there, and we was transitioning together, trying to, you feel me, get a spot. She got a spot out there. And that's how I was stationed out there, you feel me? Yeah, interesting. I mean, like I said, you've told your story a lot. And I actually commend you on being open and going into detail about all these things, because it's not easy to discuss. Like I said, we ain't got to go through the whole damn repeat the process. Right. But for the ones that don't know, yeah. For the ones who don't know, I mean, I'm just going to throw a few things out there that impacted you, from what I understand, from what I was researching, is that
incarceration, your father and your half brother incarcerated most of your life growing up, mom struggling through addiction and homelessness, poverty. Any one of those things is a lot for a young person to have to process. But I feel like also when you're a kid and you're just growing up in that, you don't really know that it's not normal.
Nah, you don't realize it.
Yeah.
You don't realize it until you start getting older, or you start getting put in different environments and settings. Like I done went to like different like little program things, Church on the Rock or something, some type of church programs where they took us out trips, you know what I'm saying, Lake Tower or something. And I'm with a bunch of like white kids really, you know what I'm saying, preppy kids and shit. I'm the only one.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, you know, you start realizing shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm like, wait, I am different. I'm hella different.
Right.
And I'm out here, nigga, in Lake Tahoe in the snow, nigga, in some motherfucking, in some boots, like Timberland boots. And motherfucking 6 feet inch snow. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got no thick socks and ski masks and all this shit that these niggas got. I'm out here, I got a suit and some motherfucking Timbs. That snow soaking through my boots.
Yeah.
But I was having fun. I had fun, but I was noticing because, you know, how I acted, you know, during that time, you know, I'd get into a little white boy, you know what I'm saying? And I had to sit down with the father. And the father was hella cool, you know what I'm saying? I was probably about like 7, 8. I was probably like 8 at the time. Father sat me down and was like, did you hit my son? And I was like, yeah, I hit him. He was like, why you hit him? I was like, cause he was laughing at my boots. He said I didn't have snow boots. So you look down, you see him.
Oh shit, hold up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had some technical difficulties here at the History of the Bay podcast. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused if you were paying attention to the story of Rico to Smoove growing up. But we're going to resume broadcast right now. So you were in the middle of telling a story about someone making fun of your boots on a church trip in Tahoe.
Yeah. I think where it started from, you asked it a question about.
Should I take it all the way back? Should we take it farther back than that?
We could take it a little bit. Yeah.
What was you gonna say?
I was trying to figure out where I was.
Why we got there?
Yeah. Why I got there.
We were talking about how normal it is when you're living in the circumstances you were living in.
Oh yeah,
until you get to a new place.
And then I was telling you I didn't realize it till because you were saying you know as youth. You know what I'm saying? As an adolescent,
it's just normalized.
Yeah, it's normalized.
Yeah.
So I was telling you that, I didn't really start catching on until I was getting older, about 10, 11. So I was talking about that Tahoe trip out to church where I was surrounded by predominantly like white, Asian, different people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had got into it with a little white boy, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to clown my shit.
Sorry, hold on 1 second, bro. I just got to double check.
There you go.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta make sure.
Yeah. All right, my bad. You said you got into it with a.
Yeah. So I got a little white boy, man. He was trying to pick on me, man. I had Timberland boots on instead of snow boots. I didn't know the difference. Obviously, my mom sent me off. She didn't really have money like that. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to just make it wiggle. She like, it's a snow trip. You ain't never been to snow. They paying for it. It's free. She meant right by it. I got clowned on, socked the little boy in his chest. He told his daddy. I thought the daddy was gonna be tripping, man. He's like, did you hit my son in the chest? And then I'm like, yeah. He's like, sit down, let me talk to you. And he was like, well, why'd you hit my son in the chest for? And I was like, he was laughing at my boots. You know what I'm saying? He said I didn't have snow boots. And he was getting all the other kids laughing. So he looked down at my boots and seen that, you know what I'm saying, I had the Timbs and they were soaked, you know what I'm saying, with snow and shit. He was like, you got snow socks on under there? I was like, nah, I just got regular socks. And he was like, take your boots off. And he took my boots off and emptied out like it was dripping and shit, put it to the side. And he just looked me in my eyes. He was like, you know what? He's all, excuse me for my son's behavior. He was like, I could tell and I know that you grew up a lot different than him. And, you know, some people don't understand that, which my son doesn't. So you had every right to punch him in his chest. If he does it again, let me know.
Wow.
And he just walked away. I was just thinking like, nigga, I'm not in trouble? Like, because I thought I was in trouble and shit, because you came back. I told my dad, now you're in trouble, you know, one of those little things. And I ain't got no parents there or nothing to back me up. So I'm like, man, it's bad. But he ended up telling me that. That's when I started realizing, like, okay, it ain't how I grew up and the environment, everything, it's not normalized. This ain't normalized. Like, this is really the struggle. You feel me?
Well, that's a good man right there, because that's sounds like he really understood. But, you know, if I could just go deep for a second, that situation probably shows that maybe you were more aware of your circumstances than you realized.
Right.
Because it was a sensitive subject that on the surface, this kid just thinks he's making fun of your boots. But in some way, you know,
exactly,
he's making fun of you not being able to have these things because of the situations you're growing up in.
That part.
So you kind of are like maybe subconsciously mindful of those things. But, you know, also the understanding that dude gave you is basically you're acting out because of your circumstances. But when you're young and you're getting in trouble and you're going to the courts, maybe they're not seeing it the same way as that man did, of like, oh, this kid's got some fucked up shit going on. Let's, you know what I mean? Like, let's make sure he's cool. And were you getting that kind of treatment, or was it just?
Yeah, no, I think first it was the education system that had failed me, because, you know, I started having behavioral problems early, you know what I'm saying? Like before I was even got to 8, I had behavioral problems when I was about 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? And at first, a lot of it was like, you know, just throwing tantrums. I ain't gonna lie, it was throwing tantrums. My mom said I cried a lot, just acted out, throwing stuff, you know, just acting out, you know, trying to express myself, I guess, at the time. And then that turned into like aggressiveness. Like, first it started off so simple as I was little, but then as I started going on and different things happening, you know, it turned into anger. And like I said, the educational system was probably the first ones to fail me, because what they did was instantly was just like, he has behavioral problems.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing about, let me dig deeper, a little bit deeper, see what's going on at home.
Psychological,
there was no
therapy.
There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they kind of waited till it's too late. All these things has done happened already. I done seen so much shit, and now I'm already kicked out of different schools, and now I'm being placed to look for treatment. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of just, it didn't make sense to me as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Too little, too late.
Yeah, I also kind of like, at the time, I was like, man, maybe I am fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I need this shit, I guess. You know
like being locked up?
Or like being locked up, or you know, the treatment, like the later on treatments, counseling and shit, and you know, they used to try to feed me meds in juvenile hall, the whole shit.
Yeah,
you know, it was getting me thinking that I did need the shit and need to be treated. You know what I'm saying? But it was really like, I didn't need to be treated like a fucking a patient, like a psycho patient.
Yeah,
I just needed to be.
Just need some support.
Yeah, some support system, a little bit.
It's natural, bro.
Yeah,
it's like you're growing up in extraordinary circumstances.
Exactly,
bro.
and I say this like now that I'm grown, man, this is like common sense to me. Not even with a person that grew up in an environment where it's poverty and drugs, whatever. It could be someone growing up sexual abuse. It could be someone with autism. Bro. It could be different millions of problems.
Everybody got problems, man.
But kid, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to youth, the adolescent, there's just different ways of going about it. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways of going about communicating with them and tending to their feelings and seeing how you can, you know what I'm saying, accommodate for this child's needs. So, like I said, I know the teachers are there to teach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But when they sign up, I'm sorry to say, you're with these kids year long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If all you could teach these people or teach these kids is just math and how to learn, then I feel like that's not really a teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you used something, a term in another podcast I saw when you did No Jumper. Shout out to No Jumper. You said you experienced the school to prison pipeline, and when I heard that, I said, "Oh, that's interesting. That's not a word that you hear rappers use too often, but it's one that I'm familiar with because my story is I went to City College after high school, and I eventually, after many years, I transferred, got my degree from San Francisco State. I studied ethnic studies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a major in Africana studies. So I turned my life around in order to do that, pursue education. Took me a long time. I say that to say that in the spaces that I've been in where it's people like you and me that are trying to understand these things and make things better for people like us, school to prison pipeline is something you hear about, where you basically are sent to public school, but it's a fast track to prison. And it goes down in a lot of different ways. I think one of the main ways, like you're saying, is the discipline system. You know, I've been through that too, suspensions and all that stuff. It's like you kind of get the police be at the school. You could get arrested at the school. I've been sent to court by my school. So it's kind of crazy to see that these things are like real. And in your case, you basically went from school to juvie to YA.
Mm-hmm. In that order.
Yeah. So what made you start thinking of things in that term of like the school to prison pipeline?
Well, like I said, I didn't start, really like deeply self-educating myself until CYA. And even like when I got there, I didn't get straight to education. It was a bumpy ass road for me.
Yeah.
I wilded out. I catted off for many times. I fought and did all types of bullshit. But later on in my term, I'm like, man, I done did a bunch of I got a whole rap sheet, a bunch of bullshit that I done did, but I don't have nothing positive really. So I was like, started thinking to myself, like, I need to at least educate myself. So once I started educating myself in YA is when I came across the school prison pipeline.
Gotcha.
And I had to write an essay on it.
That's deep.
So
yeah, you're literally discovering this shit while you're locked up.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, hold on, this happened to me.
And it was easy to write. So I started letting it flow, and like, you know what I'm saying? I mentioned multiple times that, shout out Mr. Gutierrez. You know what I'm saying? He was a professor in LA. You know what I'm saying? And he moved out to Northern California and took the position to be a history teacher there. NYA, yeah. And when I met him, I was already kind of like slowly swaying to self-educating myself and on my political shit. So every time I got up in there, he's just like, man, why are you just always sitting here? You don't do no work, no none. And I said, because I don't believe in this shit. And he's like, what? And I said, this book, this little history book, so-called history. And I started asking questions. And he was like, those are good questions. He's like, why don't I write them down? Without me knowing, he was already like slowly but surely pressing education upon me from a professor's level.
Yeah.
So he started shooting me topics and I started free writing. He said, there is no wrong, right answer. And that's what opened me up to write. Cause I'm like, before it's like, there's only a wrong or right answer. This one is just allowing you to express how you feel about the story, the situation or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your feelings and what's your view and input on that. So it wasn't until then, cause I started reading on topics. I did that essay and I started doing, I'm like, damn, this is the school to prison pipeline. I've been living this shit. Wow. And it's real. All these other kids too. A lot of these other kids went through the same shit.
So you were doing 5 years, a 5-year sentence in YA
Yep.
at this time. So you went 16 to 21 basically.
Yeah.
So what was the age when you started the education process?
I say I got there 16 to 17, wilding out. 17 to 18, wilding out. 19, right before probably like getting closer to my date of like expiration date, really, because I maxed out at a certain date and I was only months away. They kept denying me. Even though I was slowly changing in my paperwork and stuff right now, they felt that I wasn't ready to go home because of certain issues and wooty wop. And I was just like, man, this shit is crazy. Like, I'm just gonna max out on this motherfucker, but
right.
It wasn't until my later days as me actually getting older till I started really self-educating myself the last few years.
Did you get a GED?
Nah, I graduated.
Oh, you got a full high school diploma?
Yeah, I got my diploma in there. I got my little forklift license. They didn't have too many vocational. They didn't have vocational training classes like that anymore. When I went there, they used to have wood shop, all types of shit. But all that shit was done data. You know what I'm saying? We only had forklift on site for anybody to really get any achievements and shit.
Wow. So I'm gonna say something real quick. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody else. I could sit up here and ask you about the fightings, the violence, the guards, the gangs, the this, the that. For someone like me that's seen that shit in 3D, real life, that shit is normal and regular. I hate to say it. The shit that you're talking about getting to a certain age where you're able to kind of put a lot of this shit behind you and make a change is exceptional to me. That's the shit that is, I think we need to be highlighting more.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in these times that we living in, like, it's just crazy to see like all the different stuff going on around the world and people still not waking up and still, so engaged into a post that says this guy and this guy doing this, or like, man, bro, there's real ass shit going down behind the scenes, like, and we still being puppets, like, you know what I'm saying? Being told what to do, going on with these daily routines of slaving and, you know what I'm saying? All this, like, I be peeping it and I just be like, it's a damn shame, you feel me?
I mean, do you feel like statistically speaking, right? All these issues that we just threw, all these labels that we could put on you, grow up like this happened, this, that. Statistically, a lot of people in your situations end up dead or in prison. Do you feel like that you beat the odds?
I don't want to speak so soon because, I still got lifetime ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got haters and people out there that want to, do harm to me or, you know what I'm saying, don't want to see me shining. So I don't want to speak too soon on that. But the way it's going and the energy that I'm putting out and the way my mindset is, I feel like, I'm spiritually grounded. So I'm not going to act like I'm invincible, but where my mind is at and my heart, I just feel that I'm going to prosper. You know what I'm saying? Just based on, I'm doing everything that I said that I was supposed to be doing. There's been many temptations in front of my face. You know what I'm saying? Recently done lost 3 homies back to back within a month. In the same month. That shit messed me up. You know what I'm saying? That shit tried to throw me off my pivot, made me want to be negative about shit, but I'm pushing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So you still gotta regulate crash out instincts.
Yeah, facts. Because we all human beings. So at the end of the day, like, people be thinking like, I don't know. We all human, bro. So I still had them same instincts of saying fuck it. But shit, I can't say fuck it like that no more. I got a whole family, you feel me? So I look at my fam and I think about loved ones I done lost. You know what I'm saying? They kids, they families, they mamas. And I feel like it'd be disrespect if I crash out.
Right.
I feel like it's disrespect if I'm doing pills and one of the homies died over an overdose. I feel like I'ma let somebody down if they dreams was to be a hot artist and to make it and see the finer life, and I say fuck it and go crash out, or I say fuck it and keep on promoting this shit and keep acting this way and having this mindset. I feel like I let my loved ones down that died. You know what I'm saying? So all this shit, all this temptation is around me right now, you feel me? And I'm standing firmly strong, you feel me? So, like I said, I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm firmly rooted on this shit. So I know I'm focused, you feel me? And I know that it'll be really hard to knock me off my pivot, you feel me?
I think that's a really good answer, bro. I think that's a very humble answer because, man, I you know, bro, I be thinking shit can go down, bro, at any moment, to anybody. You know what I mean? I done had one of my pops' OG friends go to the feds at like 60 years old over slipping, just slipping. You was slipping. You know what I mean? Like, I think about that for myself. Like, you know, I have to think very carefully about decisions that I make because I have people who depend on me.
Exactly.
I have people who don't. It would not benefit them to see me, even from the outside looking in, go down bad. There's a difference. Once you get to some level of success, it gets harder because you actually have some shit to lose.
Yeah, facts. And it's like, I say with me, you know, it's like, I'm connected with the streets, but not in the sense of, you know, like, people know me around the community in my city. Like, I'm out and about.
Right.
You see me at the mall, you see me at the grocery store, but I'm not saying that like the tone, like I'm outside.
No.
Nigga, I'm just wiggling through my city.
You're accessible.
I'm accessible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good and a bad thing. But at the same time, like, you know, I get so much love out to my people, you know, like, I do got a strong, like, fan base and supporters and people within my city that do love me. So it's like, me being that accessible, it's not too pushing it because of the type of stuff that I'm putting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm steadily putting out some negative shit, of course I'm always watching my back because,
I mean, you gotta have your head on a swivel regardless. Yeah.
But imagine, you know, if you're putting out some type of energy or whatever it may be, and you're caught up, you know what I'm saying, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And you out there, you gotta really, really tighten up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you do.
And I'm saying I'm tying up, but I don't have to really tighten up because, you know what I'm saying, of that sense.
Yeah, you're not you're not over here trying to like threaten people or like use your platform to like fucking promote something that's gonna get you crossed up.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I also know that sometimes it has nothing to do, it might be nothing to do with that. Yeah. Chains, jewelry, you know what I'm saying? There's different people. I don't
like the way this motherfucker looks type shit.
It could be whatever, bro.
Yeah.
So I understand that too. So I know sometimes it don't matter what energy you put out.
Yeah.
But I know that if you continue to put that shit out and you really mean by it, you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, even if something happens to you, justice will be served some way, shape, or form.
For sure.
Fashion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's a good transition to talk more about the music because from what I understand, you came in the game talking some politically charged, some revolutionary minded, some Tupac type of vibes on was it Military Mindset?
Yeah, Military Mindset, man. So I actually wrote that in CYA. It was a free verse poem. So basically it was just rhyming, you know what I'm saying? And how I did it was like, you know, I was doing bar for bar, just rhyming it. My mission is simple. People stay militant and educated. Watch out for suckers and phonies that really perpetrating. You see the news and the media telling I said, you see the news and the media telling lies, take a look at my eyes, all you see is struggle and strive. Like how I pieced it down was really just me doing it like that. And I started messing around with it, doing beats and whatnot, and I was like, damn, that could go on a beat. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have to just wait till I get out. You know what I'm saying? I would spit it in YA and whatnot. And I also entered into it was Juneteenth, you know what I'm saying? It was a Black History Month contest. I submitted my shit, won first place. That could take it back a little bit. Remember what I was saying? It wasn't towards, like I was like 19. Then I started self-educating, reading the books and getting more political with it. At the time, I was trying to get involved in anything that had to do with anything cultural or anything to my culture, period. So if it was Black History Month, I'm on it. I'm doing poems, I'm doing raps, I'm doing art, whatever the fuck we could do for that, I'm in there because I want to express myself. And plus, I felt like it was the best time because how they do it is the Black History Month, they gather unit, all the COs, the head staff, everybody there. So I used it like a form of a weapon, because I get to put my feelings and what's really going on blast. So I did that Black History Month. That started that was a Black History Month project. Nobody knows. I never told nobody that. Yeah, that's what that was for, though. Black History Month project, free verse poem. Then I came out, and that's when I put that to a beat, knocking ass Tupac type beat, and it just went like butter.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, do you think that a lot of people have gravitated towards your music because you're kicking street shit, you're kicking G shit, you're kicking like, West Coast, NorCal shit, but then you have a lot of messages. And do you think that served you well in terms of like attracting a fan base?
Yeah, I think that's what gave me like the longevity because, some would probably see, from the outside looking in, like, he never really went anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, with numbers and streams and certain shit like that, but it's like, I never really went anywhere, period, you know what I'm saying? Like, I neither went down or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've always just been here, and I feel like it's because of that, because a lot of my fan base were young ones that were just like me, and they were influenced by my turned up shit, but they like that shit too. So that a combination of getting the young ones to gravitate towards that kicking game shit, and we already know who really be gravitated to it, the OGs.
Right.
So all the OGs have my back from the gate, and they just see my progression, and they've always kicked that game. Hey, whatever you do, I like that turned up shit, kick that game.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yep, it's good. And I've been on that path pretty much ever since.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, I think where a lot of artists go wrong is I hear a lot of people say, well, that's what they want. That's what people want to hear. I say, man, motherfucker, you give them what they want. You tell them, this is the shit. This is your job, right? You can make anything look like, look at Mac Dre. He made some weird, like, out of humorous, out of this world type of stuff.
He was already in a whole nother zone, dimension.
Exactly. And he pushed that shit with so much confidence and so much sauce that the whole rest of the world jumped on it. Yeah. So you could do that.
Shows you right there.
Humor, intelligence, education, revolutionary, gangster shit. Whatever you give them, if you deliver it properly, you'll build an audience around it.
Facts.
But speaking to the other like side of the music too, which is good. It's good to have balance, right? Do you feel like that yourself and other Northern California artists are being boxed in, either by the music industry or the audience or yourselves, or do you feel like that's going on?
I can only speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? Based on my experiments and, where I'm at now, I say the only person that really boxed me in was me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that has to do with, environment. If you're moving around, wiggling, if you're experimenting with different beats, different genres, if you're connecting with different artists, you know what I'm saying? That's all essential to a part of you growing as an artist, period. You You know what I'm saying? You were saying that in the beginning. You're like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to grow, essentially you have to make changes and do certain things different.
Yeah.
And that's real shit. So I say, you know what I'm saying? There is other stuff, other forces or something out there. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be something really like, for me specifically, probably keeping me a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to blame nobody. I want to say 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the artist, because you got to figure out ways to get out of that box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a box, but it's not a cell, it's not a cage, it's not something you're locked in. It's a box. You got to figure out how to open it up and go adventure out somewhere else. So
I think that's a good way to put it, because it is kind of a cop out to say it's the music industry's fault, or like whatever problem it is. It's like, well, figure it the fuck out, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, that's the mindset you have to have, like, or else you're gonna keep coming up with explanations and
excuses.
Yeah, excuses.
Yeah. Well, speaking of different genres, you mentioned like before we started rolling, and that's something you're experimenting with now. I'm curious to hear what that is.
Yeah, so man, it was my birthday, man, February. I turned 29, man. I went to Hawaii for my first time. Honolulu. That, man, beautiful spot, island vibes. We originally just went out there just to, you know, I don't know, just check it out, see the vibe, see what it was. Thing was about the whole trip is, you know, we weren't drinking like that. You know what I'm saying? I at the time, like before, you know, a lot of drinking and, you know, kicking it. That was like the fun type shit. But this one was just all, you know, clearing the mental. You know, we was just smoking, you know, smoking weed, man. We was going out to the hills, clean ass views, looking down the jungles and shit with motherfucking chickens walking around and shit. And just enjoying the vibes, bro, honestly, you know. And I had 2 objectives out there. One was to hook up with some young fella by the name of Juice. He's from Hawaii. He's from Khalid Projects out there. But I had peeped him before I went out to Hawaii, and I was like, man, if I ever go to Hawaii, I'm finna tap in with that fool. He need just a little, you know, support, push, whatever it may be. Because, you know, I seen the talent in him. But that was my one objective, tap in with him, make a song with that boy. My second objective was to tap in with my boy Raiden. He's at another projects, and that projects, I've been tapped in with him for like, I think like 2 years, maybe 3 years. But I seen him randomly on my feed, and he was just helping the community, you feel me? And I could tell there are little Micronesians, Tongan, Samoan kids out there in Hawaii, and they're on these projects, you know what I'm saying? And he was putting together like little events and things like that. And I was just like, man, that's shit that I want to do. And I tapped in with him. I told him that was dope. And you know what I'm saying? Hey, if I ever go out there, I'm trying to do something with you, collab or something, you know, do something for the kids. And he was like, yeah, for sure, brother. It's like, it's good. Like, come through, slide. You feel me? And I'm like, it's good. So now I'm out there, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to kick it and chill and relax, but you know, I gotta make sure I connect those dots. Mm-hmm. I hit Juice, connected with Juice, young fella. We made 2 slaps. You know what I'm saying? Made 2 slaps that night, and then we went over there to the other projects with the kids. We went to peep out the actual. It's like their own form of like a little center within their projects. You know, it's supposed to be where they have stuff and TV, games and shit. That shit was just, you know what I'm saying? It was rugged, bro. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no TV in there. The ceilings were all falling apart. And like, you could tell that, bro, like he does what he can, you know what I'm saying? But he was telling me he didn't really have no help. And he was also telling me about, you know, the stuff that was going around the world was also affecting, you know, ICE.
Right.
He told me that immigration were going through the projects, taking Samoans, taking Fijians, taking anybody that was indigenous and not from there, supposedly, taking them back.
Damn.
Mind you, these is families that's been in Hawaii for years and years and years to come before it even got colonized type shit. Mm. So he's breaking all that down to me, and I'm just like, man, feeling it, like, damn. I'm seeing what's going on. And I always knew, like, I see the ICE shit. I see how they be setting certain things up, the Black Lives Matter and all this. They pertain it strictly to them. or to that cause, and that's it, without showing the world as a whole and the problems everybody goes through, and we're all in the same boat type shit. They don't really show shit like that. So I was telling them, like, man, hopefully we could put something together and shed some light on this. You know what I'm saying? Because people come to Hawaii and think it's just a tourist little spot.
Yeah.
Come get your little sunbathing out in the ocean, and they got all the Louis Vuitton and all this on the strip. Like, you know what I'm saying? People are coming from out of country to tour this land that ain't even theirs, and they making money off it.
Right.
And these niggas is still in the projects. So I'm like, it's making me mad just thinking about it. And I was like, you know what, bro? Nigga, we gonna figure something out. I said, I'm gonna hit you tomorrow. And when I left, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but something came to my heart and was like, man, ask my cousin. I came out with my cousin and his girl. Shout out my nigga Vincent, man. Vincent and Helly. My cousins, man, they got a good heart too. So we randomly came up with this decision. Let's go throw them a little random pizza party, or just pass out pizzas and buy them some footballs and shit, little shit like that. You feel me? Because we seen how they was living.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the hotels where it was nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That made us that more not want to stay in those towns and be around that. We went outside the area into the local cities and shit like that. But we made that happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? I made that with Juice happen, made the tracks, made that happen with Raiden, which is basically the projects, you know what I'm saying? Real manager, he should be the manager, but he ain't in no position. He just doing this from his heart. Long story short, we passed out pizzas. We got to know the kids, passed out. Everything went good. I'm saying all that because it all boils up to the, what they call it out there, aloha. You know what I'm saying? The vibes, the feeling, the love. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that out there with even me giving back. Because there was hella certain situations where we were just front row. We got to certain restaurants on time. Like, everything was just happening like so smoothly, like laid out for me. It was on my birthday. And the thoughts and everything that came with it along the way too. It wasn't something that I planned out. I planned on tapping in, and I planned on tapping in with the other artists and shit like that, but it was just a thought, really. All the other stuff came unfolded. So I had these vibes down there, and I was like, man, I gotta make something while I'm out here. Different vibe. I'm out here, I'm feeling it. I might as well. And I was sitting there trying to figure out, I'm like, man, I don't know one out here. Like, who am I gonna hit up? Like, you know what I'm saying, to do a beat. So I'm looking up producers, I'm looking up people randomly, you feel me, within the circumference of where I was at. And I come across DJ Idea.
Shout out to DJ Idea.
Shout out DJ Idea. So I'm like, oh man, he's stationed out here, and ain't he from the Bay? I'm like, oh, I start putting two together. I looked all the shit, and I'm like, oh, bro. I'm like, I might as well ask him for a beat. So now I'm thinking, okay, but what the fuck, what beat? I want some type of island vibe, but like how? And out there the whole time, you know what I'm saying, I'm sitting there just bumping Medication is by Damon Marley and someone else. But it goes like, medication, the medication gets me high, elevation, So it's a little tune melody like that with a rap reggae beat. Got the same dun 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 dun, and then got the bass a little bit. So that was in my head. I'm like, man, I wonder if he could flip that. If he can, I want to see if he could flip that, and then now I gotta flip that because I can't go off the same subject or topics. I don't want to be talking about weed. So I hit DJ Idea. He tell me his rates. I'm like, fuck it, lock it in, man. He's like, hook me up with a little package deal, get the studio time, whoop, whoop, all in one, and I'll make you a beat. And he sent the beat the same day, damn near. Like, I sent it during like early afternoon. I sent it to him, made deposit everything, put everything down. He sent the beat back ASAP, knocking. Had that same little reggae bounce with bass, and it was like some newer shit. And I was just like, man, just well, all we were doing is going from island to island to smoke, and so I could marinate on some shit to come up with that. So what I did was I flipped the medication and switched it around and made it to education. So that song is a reggae rap vibe with the chorus promoting education. It goes, education, educate the children, please, no separation. So tell them, let my children free, proclamation. There is no such thing, liberty, motivation. So motivate my people, please. I made that, and I felt hella good about that song, bro, and I instantly got in the studio, banged it out, tucked it off, and had a video dude out there. I went to those same projects that I fed those kids, the pizza and everything, football, and I went back and did a video in they projects. Had the kids all with me. They were all genuine smiles. Everything was really good vibes. And it went perfect with it, because I'm talking about educating not just my people, but the people, period. No matter what race you are, white, Asian, black, it don't matter. Educating them about what we've been talking about.
Right.
The shit that's not talked about like that.
Right.
So a reggae vibe, that's what I tuned into. And I've been kind of fucking with it and looking at other artists too from different areas like New Zealand and shit like that, where
see, that's what happens when you biracial, man. You like, I fuck with everybody.
Yeah, I fuck with everybody. I ain't tripping, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm wearing right now, man. You know, I got my Niners shit with my tribal shit on, man. Come on.
Nah, that's dope, bro. I mean, that's like, I'm fucking around, but at the same time, you do, when you have two different backgrounds, you kind of realize, like, bro, we have more in common than separate, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
facts.
Yeah, that's great. That's exciting, because I was just thinking today, bro, like, I'm gonna just say it, there's not very many artists right now who are creatively pushing the envelope. Just not. There's not very much experimentation. There's not much crossing over into other genres. And actually, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but I was talking with Ghazi, of all people, about how globally hip hop is charting lower than it was not too long ago. So it's just watered down right now. So it's a perfect time to transition into other genres, other avenues. You could still do the mob shit. The street
exactly.
Shit. That shit ain't going nowhere.
Just sauce it up, mix him up.
Yeah.
The way I looked at it, after a while too, and me coming up with the shit, because like I said, everything came to me. I don't know how I did it. I've never did it before in my life. I've never tried to come on no reggae beat with the sound, the function, and the whole thing. I never did it. So how it just came together so nice, I was like, this is where I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? And I can only give glory to the one above, because I feel like part of those feelings, you know what I'm saying, came from him, you know what I'm saying? And I just fulfilled everything else. And since then, a lot of shit's done happened. Don't get me wrong, a lot of fucked up shit where back then when I was a kid, I used to be mad at God. Why would you take my brother? Why would you put me in this position? Why is my mom on drugs? All these different questions, you feel me, of confusion. But now I learned the lesson that, sometimes we can't really question what he puts in for us or what our life is. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just reminded that I meant to ask you this earlier before the blackout situation. But, with everything that you went through as a kid and all those labels I threw out, right? The homelessness, addiction, incarceration, right? What advice would you give to a young person that is either going through that currently or coming out of that situation and trying to move on with their life?
I would say go back to like what I said, closed mouth don't get fed. The seeking knowledge part, you know what I'm saying? If I would have seek for more knowledge when I was younger and asked more questions and didn't stay quiet, I probably would have got a lot more answers before it was too late. So I would say always, ask questions. Always don't ever be afraid to ask for some type of support, because there might be someone that really can help you, or there might be someone that might point you in the right direction, or that might have a nonprofit that could get you on the football team. Like, there's hella ways, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say, if you're a youngin' out there, it's harder to get yourself put in it because it's more like the parents' job. But there are ways, you know what I'm saying? So I would just say seek for that support, seek for that right knowledge. And if you're a fan of mine, you see everything that I post on my shit. So take notes and just, you know what I'm saying? Take that as it is, you feel me? And soak knowledge, really.
Well, you're a father yourself now.
Yeah.
You have 2 boys, right?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Damn, getting busy.
Rico, Ray, and Monty.
Okay. And you got to go leave today, go coach football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a beautiful thing to see. Like your childhood, you're able to kind of break the cycle in a way, right? And
facts.
Be in your kids' lives. Like, what role does that play in your life right now?
Oh man, huge role. Like, man, it's helped me out. Just patience, like my parenting skills as a whole, being a role model. You know what I'm saying? I do the conditioning. I'll be working out and shit. So I'm with these kids. I'm down on the floor with them. Like I tell them, I say, you guys already know how I do. You know what I'm saying? When we fired it up, we fired up. Not you guys. I'm not gonna just tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? We going out here and get this money together. It's hot. I'm sweating too, bullets. You know what I'm saying? I got my little coach shit on. We thugging though. And just seeing that, the power, like I already seen it with my son. So seeing it with a group, it's like.
So you're doing the conditioning with your athlete?
Yeah, I'm doing it with my,
I like that.
I'm doing the conditioning with him. Actually, like that's my main little suit. I don't know too much about positioning, routes. I don't know all that shit because I ain't never grew up, you know what I'm saying, that really like an athlete.
So you're an assistant coach?
I'm assistant coach. Let the head coach deal with all that shit. You feel me? I assist him with it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, conditioning on me, first 30 minutes. We getting it in.
Wow. That's fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I always had I feel like I could have done really well in sports, but I didn't like the coach and student dynamics.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, one, a lot of the coaches was more invested in winning than actually developing me. You know what I'm saying?
Your character, yeah.
And then on top of that, the conditioning, I'm like, I had a lot of out of shape ass coaches that I didn't really believe. Like, bro, how are who are you to tell me about?
That's my point,
nutrition and you know what I'm saying, and all this stuff. Come on, bro.
hey, no shake though, because we know the OGs, they've been did it for years, and we know that you guys already done broke your backs. But that goes to say, that's why, you feel me, I took that initiative too, because I'm like, I'm not gonna just be telling them what to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Plus, it gets them more motivated to do it when they see an adult, grown man doing it.
Wow, that's dope, bro. I mean, when we started this conversation, I told you I wanted to take a different angle, and I think we've done that because I learned a lot about you as an artist, as a man, and I appreciate you coming to share your story because I feel like there's just a lot of potential right now, and you're branching out into different things. 29 is still very young, relatively, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here, bruh. We'll stay locked in. If you ever need my support, I'm a phone call away.
Yes, sir.
And we just gonna do it like that.
My guy. Locked in, my boy.
There it is, man. Sacramento to the Bay. Rico 2 Smoove, Dregs One.
Sir.
We out here, y'all. Peace.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.